Hello Libra, welcome to February and happy Valentine's Day. And this is Teresa from Tarot by T. I'm getting ready to do your February Love TarotScope. And before I do that, I'd like to ring these bells and create some sacred space. Call in little fairy angels. Create some sacred space around this reading. I love these bells. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing, liking the video, subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Thank you for your business, for those who have ordered readings. I'm happy to serve you. So let's see what is happening for Libra in the month of February. You've got Jupiter in your sign. So you are the golden child this year. Okay. But, you know, we've had all these we had this grand cross that's affecting the cardinal signs. So there might be some, you know, shake-ups in your world. But that's okay. You know, sometimes we need to get shook up so that we can release what's no longer serving us and move towards something that fits our, that's a better fit for our lives. So what does Libra need to know about their love life in February? What is coming up for love and relationships for Libra? What is coming up for love and relationship for Libra? The Page of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Five of Swords, the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Justice card. Okay, let's see. So you start the month with the Page of Wands and the Four of Cups in the center. Page of Wands represents a message, some good news, hearing some good news. Sometimes the pages can represent children. But in the center here, it usually represents qualities within you. So with the Page of Wands, you might be excited about something. There might be some recent developments that have brought you some happiness. But you still have a lot of swords in this reading, so I feel like there's still some tension related to some past issue. You have the Four of Cups here. The Four of Cups is a card of discontent and boredom. So you may feel like your life, you're not being appreciated or you're not being valued in a situation. Could be a relationship, could be a career situation, where you feel that, you know, you're just comfortable, but you're not being challenged. And you're just going through the motions. And you're thinking, well, maybe I should look for something else. So this could be career, it could be relationship. You're just feeling unfulfilled or underappreciated. And here with the Four of Cups, there's a hand coming out of the cloud offering you something. So an offer, and that could be connected to this page. You might have heard some good news about it. Maybe a job offer or some kind of opportunity coming up. And you have to decide, do I want to accept it or not? Could be a relationship. Someone's offering you an opportunity to partner. And you have to decide, do I want this or not? Even though I'm not happy with my present situation, I'm really not ready to change it. But it's kind of exciting at the same time. You're flattered by the offer. The Knight of Swords in your past could represent restless energy. So you might be feeling a little bit rebellious, or you feel like you want to shake things up. And that could come from the boredom. This could represent someone who, if it doesn't represent you, it could represent someone that you're dealing with who's a little bit insensitive. Someone who is jumping into something without thinking of the consequences. So it could be that because you were bored, you might have, jumped into something just looking for excitement and not thinking about how your actions or your behavior is affecting other people. So there could have been a relationship that you got involved in. Or you could have left one job and jumped into another position. Maybe, because this is like a quick departure, where suddenly you decide, I can't take anymore, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. So whether it's a job or relationship, it was a quick decision. And maybe you didn't consider all the consequences behind it, but it was something you felt like you had to do at the time. And you've had some success in the past. I mean, you're good at what you do. You're good at, you're seen as someone who's good at what they do. And you've gotten recognition for that. And maybe you've had to travel because of your work. Or you've had to act as a representative for a company you've been working for. But in any case, and the good news could also be related to career, that you're getting recognition, but you're really not happy where you're at. So even though you're getting recognition, and people are saying, yeah, you did a really great job on that project, you're not satisfied. You're feeling it's not enough, or you're bored. Maybe you accepted something that you really weren't, your heart's not in it. But you're doing good anyway. You're making the best of it, and you're getting recognition. In a relationship situation, you could be experiencing some hostility. You have this 5 of Swords and then the King of Swords. So there could be someone who you feel is being really hard on you, really judgmental. Maybe you're dealing with someone's hostility. They're being passive-aggressive, or they're just feeling victimized. One of you is feeling victimized, or you're feeling hurt. You're feeling that you're being treated unfairly in a situation. And maybe it's something you've done, and the person who is offended by your actions is giving you a hard time. So you might have to deal with someone's hostility in February. But don't worry, it's going to all work out in the end, because you have the Justice card as the outcome. But that's something to be aware of. The other thing with the King of Swords is you really need to think about what's real and separate what's real from what's not real. So it could be that you're cleaning house in February. That you're deciding, okay, what's important in my life? What do I need? And what do I need to release? And so you might be releasing some things that no longer serve you in February. And if you've had a falling out with someone, because you have this 4 of Swords here in your environment, and that could represent 2 things. It could represent, if you're in a relationship and you've separated, you just need time away from each other. Maybe you've come to some kind of you've been arguing with someone, and you can't come to a resolution. You may have to take legal action to resolve it, because sometimes the Justice card represents a legal situation. So you might be dealing with someone in a court of law in February. And this can also, sometimes the King of Swords can represent a lawyer, or some legal situation that comes up and you feel like you're not being treated fairly, and you feel like you have to fight for your rights in some way. The Queen of Wands in your negative thinking sector, this can represent you need to, it represents, you need to take a more leadership role in your life. Tap into your leadership ability. Don't let things happen to you. You have to fight for what you want. You have to carve out your life. Maybe you've been too passive. This could also represent sometimes in a relationship that you might be worried about a rival or someone trying to take something away from you. Because this person's very aggressive. And they feel like a sense of entitlement. And they go after what they want. I want it, I see it, I conquer. I'm going after it. So you might be a little worried about this person taking something from you, or taking something that you value away from you. The Four of Swords, someone is healing, or needing rest to recover from maybe an illness. So you could be worried about someone's health. Maybe someone had an operation and now is hospitalized, and now they need to recover. So they might need some kind of recuperation. So you might be taking care of a loved one that's been sick. Or it could be in a relationship situation where you've had a falling out or a separation, and you just need to take some time out from each other to think about where this relationship is going. With the Queen of Swords here in your hopes and wishes, that could relate to you as a Libra, because the swords represent the air signs. So it could be, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And that's true also of these two, the Knight and the King. But if it doesn't represent that specific sign, sometimes the Queen of Swords can represent someone who's very critical or judgmental. So it could be that you're dealing with an older person who's coming down on you. Maybe a Virgo, or someone who acts like one. This person seems harsh. This person seems to lack. Sometimes the Swords people, they don't seem to have a lot of compassion. And you may feel that they're being really harsh with you. Or you're dealing with people that seem to have no compassion. And it's something that you might have to resolve it. If there's some kind of injustice going on in your life, or some kind of situation where you feel like you're being victimized, you might have to take legal action with the Justice card. But the good thing about the Justice card as an outcome is that whatever the outcome is, it will be a fair decision. So it may not be exactly what you want, but it will be fair. And if this person represents a mediator or a judge, he's going to be separating what's true from what's not true. He's going to be trying to resolve a situation in a fair way. So this could be a lawyer or a mediator or a judge that's trying to create harmony, create a fair outcome. So if you have any legal things happening in February, you will know that it is definitely, there'll be a fair outcome. Now, often, if it doesn't relate to, if there's not a legal situation that you're dealing with, the Justice card relates to karma. So, karma is not punishment. People think karma, well, if I did something to someone in one life, I'm going to get, so I get punished in the next life. It's not a punishment. There's no moral agenda behind the Justice card. What the Justice card represents is more like the law of physics. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if something is happening in your life, it's not happening because the universe is out to get you. It's happening because your behavior sets something in motion, and you're experiencing the results of that, for good or bad. So if you set something in motion that brings a positive result back, you're going to experience a positive outcome. If you set something in motion that brings a negative result back, then you're going to experience that. Whatever it is, it's just a balancing. And sometimes it seems like you're being punished or rewarded, but really it's not that way. It's more of, I did this and I set this chain of events in motion, and this is the result of that chain of events. So it's kind of like, okay, if I cheat and then I get caught, you know, I have to deal with the outcome. Or if I do something good for someone and then they, return the favor, it's because of what I've done and I'm getting back the energy. So you are going to be dealing with karma in February. And the outcome will be determined by your actions. So be careful with the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is restless and reckless energy. Be careful what you choose. Be careful how you act. Be careful what you say, because everything that you put out there comes back in some way. What goes around comes around, as they say. So you have to be careful that you're choosing not just on your own selfish need, that you're considering other people in your choices and how your actions are going to affect others. And if you do that, you should be okay. Then you should get the positive outcome of the Justice card, where a decision goes in your favor, where the results are favorable. You still may have to deal with someone who doesn't like your choices. You still might have to deal with criticism of what you want to do. But you have to do what's best for everyone. You have to consider everyone, not just your own needs in February. And if you do that, you'll be happy in the end. So, let's see, Libra. It could be something comes to culmination around work or a health issue. You might be dealing with someone who's either going through a difficult time physically, maybe a partner is having a health issue, or your employment. You might be dealing with hostilities at work, or you feel like things are unfair at work. There's some kind of legal issue that comes up at work. Either way, the outcome will be fair. You can guarantee that the outcome will be fair. And sometimes with the Five of Swords, it's a warning to not to see something realistically, and not to try to change a person. A lot of times people, they try to you're like fight a losing battle. Sometimes you have to just cut your losses and move on. So if you're in a difficult situation and you feel like the other party is being very rigid and not wanting to compromise and just being hostile, you don't have to exist in a toxic situation. You can just walk away. So some of you may decide to do that. You might decide to just cut your losses and move on. So if you're existing in a work situation where you feel like you're being treated unfairly, or you're being victimized in some way, or you're dealing with someone's hostile or passive aggressive energies, you don't have to engage. The card of the Five is don't engage in the drama. Don't get drawn in and retaliate. Always take the higher ground. Because if you get drawn in, you're both going to get hurt. And you're both going to go down in flames. So that's something to think about. Take the higher road. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just withdraw and don't engage in the battle. If it's a relationship situation and you're engaged with a toxic person or a person who's being passive aggressive or bullying or just sarcastic or nasty, try to rise above it. Don't engage with that person. They're in their own world of hate and anger. To just avoid drama in February. Don't get drawn into a drama. But at the same time, try to, and as a Libra, you will I know Libras always try to, satisfy everyone and please everyone. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the Five of Swords represents a situation that you just can't win, and you're just bashing your head against the wall trying. And sometimes you just have to cut your losses, admit defeat, and move on. So let's hope that you experience the positive aspect of the Justice card, where justice is done in the end, and everyone gets their just rewards and fairness, and you get released from this toxic situation, and it's an ending of hostility. So that's my forecast for February. I hope that this has been a help to you, and I wish you luck and love and blessings for February. And I will talk to you again next month. Thanks, Libra.